question authority. We all knew the alleged authorities had no right to tell us what to do, and yet no one bothered to ask the right questions, which evidence the fact the only authority in my life is high. So I ask that you question everything. In particular, every time you find yourself handing over your cash or signing something for no apparent reason. Ask to see the law that requires you to do so. Even more important, the enforcement clause, the part about what will happen if I don't. And most important, the proof that the law applies to you. Remember, it only applies to the entity whose name resembles your name, which is a government-created fiction designed to get you to pay for the feds ought to be paying and to pay for what the feds ought to be paying you. Use your intuition. Spiritual economics. I know folks at the London School of Economics may find this interesting. The most difficult thing we'll ever have to do in life is change our minds about what we believe to be truth. For our entire lives, we have been programmed, coerced, propagandized, tricked, manipulated, lied to, deceived, almost out of living life itself. We've all heard the many cliches, aphorisms, and quotations which suggest that we must evolve and learn. The lesson is, we are the source of all we experience. If we want to change what we think we are experiencing, we must change our minds about our perceptions. And William James states, the greatest discovery of any generation is that a living soul can alter his life by altering his attitude. Most of the people I know are complaining about not having enough money, rather than busy themselves with second and third jobs, which is precisely what the Fed wants us to do in order to keep our attention off their deeds, not to mention generate more taxes for those of us who don't know what they are not required to hand it over. We must spend some time and effort on removing ourselves from such a self-defeating system. We are in a downward spiral, and working more is only digging us deeper. We must begin to work smarter. When we change our minds about the ostensible power of those who intend to destroy us and realize that we are our own power and authority, we will change our circumstances. Freedom from financial tyranny and oppression will cause us to believe that we are not financially oppressed, which will change our minds about our financial freedom. Finally, we will see that our freedom is not dictated by the state of our finances. As Samuel Blumenfield put it, what is so mind-boggling is that all of this is being financed by the American people themselves through their own taxes. In other words, the American people are underwriting the destruction of their own freedom and way of life by lavishly financing through federal and state grants the very social scientists who are undermining our national sovereignty and preparing our children to become the dumbed-down vassals of the New World Order. Those whom we believe to be thugs are really just very frightened because they know the IMF can call in the loan at any time, and they are frantically trying to confiscate as much cash as possible to give them. And when that fails, IMF may come after its own loans. The longer they can do this, the longer they can stave off the crash. But if we don't pay them as much as we can, the system will collapse like a house of cards. And how do you explain when there is a lockdown right now and all the businesses, most of the producing businesses are shut down for these 3-4 months? Be willing to put their minds at rest. Sign over as much of your exemption as they ask. Remember, the intent is not to hurt you as much as it is to save their own skins. Have some compassion. Remember, it's only business. Let's be kind to the servants and give them whatever they require, particularly when we have billions. My personal exemption is worth over £300 billion. It doesn't hurt me in the slightest to sign over £250,000 to Barclays. It is a drop in the bucket. Remember, they are the frightened servants in the basements conspiring to steal the cash of the master of the house, who has so much he doesn't know what to do with it. Well, I know what to do with mine. What we, the masters and sovereigns, don't want is they're stealing our productivity, labor, and property. If all they need is money, then we can surely let them have that in form of our exemption via a transfer instrument drawn on our unlimited credit. But if we let them intimidate and scare us into giving them our houses, shame on us for falling for their fear tactics. Our houses are so important. It is at the center of our existence. Why give it to the feds? War is commerce. Covid-19 is commerce. Those who go to war are each insured for $10 million. The beneficiary is the USA. Family members get $600,000. The more soldiers who die, the richer they become the feds. The rejection of offer to contract works with any invitation you receive, whether it's an invitation to war or an invitation to court. It's all the same. They are trying to get you to contract, and you want to remain free. If you remain vigilant, you can spot them coming a mile away, along with their surreptitious tactics. And as the old scripture says, no adversary should come to your building, into your life, into your business, and to your affairs. Not to shoot a harrow there, not to come before it with shield, and not to cast a bank against it. And that by the way that it come, by the same shall it return. And shall not come to your affairs and mess up your plans and interrupt your rhythm and flow and distract you. Because if you are aware of the higher consciousness, you will recognize that you're protected.